Kipo and the Age of the Wonderbeasts is a 2D animated TV series created by Radford Sekris and developed by Bill Walkoff. Based off the webcomic Kipo, the series was produced by DreamWorks Animation Television, and the animation was done by Studio Mir, who've done works on other shows like Legend of Korra and as well as Voltron. For this video, I'm going to talk about each season individually and then talk about the series as a whole, so spoilers if you haven't seen the series yet. Season 1 starts the series with following a teen girl named Kipo, who has been separated from her father after their burrow was attacked. Kipo was kind and caring and overly optimistic individual who always looks for the good and kinder things in life. While struggling to figure out and navigate her way around the surface for the first time, she struggles with all the different terrain and mutants around her, some lethal and others not so much, like Mundu, a mutant pig who acts as a companion to her along her journey.
My whole life, they taught us the surface was this horrible place. But look at you.
This is also where we first meet another human on the surface, Wolf, a girl who is very hard-headed and cold towards most people, but slowly but surely opens up towards Kipo and others around her.
Listen, Kipo, was it? Lesson 2 of the surface. Don't ever tell anyone that story. It could be very dangerous if people know you from a burrow.
They get into trouble with some mob frogs, and shortly after they meet a teen boy named Benson, as well as a mutant insect named Dave. They are best friends and are both very charismatic individuals who know how to hustle if they need to. The four of them start off in a sort of rocky relationship, but soon become the main group of the series as they go off on many adventures.
Wait a minute, you're inviting us down there?
Yeah, don't you want to come? You always have a warm meal, you don't have to sleep with one eye open.
Sign us up!
Bye-bye, Surface! I won't miss you!
First things first, they need to help Kipo find her burrow. They end up making there, but since no one is around and everything's destroyed, they start to look for clues on possibly being able to find her people and where they could have gone. They set off to find this new place and meet many other characters along the way, like previously mentioned the mob frogs, the timber cats, the musically rocking snakes, a mega monkey, some science wolves, and a music park run by rats, a water mutant named Tad that can provide one's greatest desire through their mind, some fitness raccoons, and along this journey we get to know so much of what's happened to the surface and how it's fall under the rule of Scarlermane, a mandrill monkey who rules the surface with an iron fist. We quickly find out that his manipulation mostly comes from the fear he ingrains into others, along with his mutated pheromones he uses against other primates and humans. He will stop at nothing until he finds and captures Kipo and the other humans. But focusing on the gang gets a lot closer and closer, getting to know each other's backstories, like how Wolf was raised by wolves and was betrayed by them. We also find out that Kipo has these mysterious mutation powers, making her wonder if she's been a mutant the whole time. Which kind of drives a small wedge between her and Wolf, but not for long, because she knows Kipo will always remain by her side, and now so will Wolf.
You're hugging me? Deal with it.
Kipo and the gang finally make it to the new burrow where they find her dad, and everything seems well until it turns out they were being followed, and the burrow they thought was safe is now being attacked. Scarlermane's forces end up capturing Kipo and her father and are both taken to Scarlermane, or so we thought. Kipo ends up fighting off Scarlermane's henchmen and swears to get her father and her people back, and that's where season 1 ends.
We're going after them.
And honestly, I gotta say, for a 10 episode first season, we got a lot of story unraveled for introducing characters, showing a world so familiar yet unfamiliar at the same time, dealing with complex situations all throughout the season, an overall great start for the series. And it only gets more complex and intense from there. Season 2 starts where the first left off, with Kipo going to get her dad back along with Dave. But in the meantime, the few human teens we meet in Kipo's burrow, Troy, Asher, and Dahlia, are now stuck and not sure what to do after the attack. So Wolf and Benson take them to see the Timbercats and head off to catch up with Kipo. While Kipo sort of succeeds in her quest to get her father back, her plans end up falling through due to the fact that she's unable to fully control her mutant abilities. Before being captured again, her father tells Kipo to find the goat prophets, so the gang ends up back together and they head off to find these goats to help Kipo control her powers and save everyone. She gets guidance and wisdom from the goat prophets, and Kipo ends up being able to control some of her jaguar mutation powers, but in order to get full control, she needs an anchor.
You must find something tangible that binds you to who you are at your core.
and she sets off to her parents' old burrow to find answers on how to find it. While on her way there, she ends up helping out a restaurant owner named Cappuccino and is given information on where to find her parents' old burrow. They head over there and a book full of information about the time before and after Kipo was born is found. They find out that Kipo's mom also grew hair exactly like Kipo, but eventually see that it's not the same jaguar hair. In fact, it's not jaguar hair at all. It turns out that she was the Mega Monkey the whole time. She ends up finally finding her anchor with her family. They rush off to see the Mega Monkey has been taken by Scarlet, and that's when Kipo turns into a Mega Jaguar and chases down her mom to get her back. She's stopped by a few people also chasing Scarlet. Kipo ends up returning to her normal self with the help of her friends. They meet Dr. Emilia, who says she's a part of the human resistance to take down Scarlet for good. Although they are very skeptical about it all, they end up joining Dr. Emilia and helping her, but also make sure they save everyone, especially Kipo's parents.
After a lengthy discussion, we've decided to come. But we can't stay long. Because we can't.
So while the gang pretends to go on a mission for Emilia, Kipo secretly goes to get her mom and dad, but gets captured by Scarlet, just in time for his own coronation. With Scarlet, Kipo, and Leo all sitting together, Kipo finally gets backstory about Scarlet, who used to be called Hugo. He tells Kipo that he was an experiment to find the cure to reverse animal mutations that had been taken over the surface, until Kipo's mom and dad decided that they didn't want any more part of it and wanted to flee. But unfortunately, they couldn't all escape together with Kipo's mom, Song. Song ends up turning into a Mega Monkey, Leo escapes with Kipo only, and Hugo makes it out alone. For a little bit, Hugo ends up being part of a gang of other primates, and in the process of that, finds Leo again, but acts out and is filled with rage and aggression, leaving to Leo abandoning him. So Hugo ends up taking over the gang and becomes the Scarlet we all know now.
The world will bow before...
Hugo?
No. Scarlet.
While getting to know Scarlet, Kipo devises a plan to bring back the Hugo that she knows is still somewhere inside of him. In the meantime, the rest of the gang is trying to distract and stop Emilia before she can use their device to stop Scarlet. Emilia finds out what they are trying to do, and the gang gets captured. They end up becoming bait for Kipo to come back, but they are quickly saved by Mondu and head over to find Kipo. It's finally time and Scarlet is finally coronated, much to Kipo's disappointment with him. Kipo has always had a plan though and uses Tad, the water mutant, to keep in everyone's minds so that they can't be controlled by the pheromones. During the fight, the gang ends up escaping, and as well as all the humans. And Hugo ends up getting knocked out in the process, so they take them with him. Try not to make the same mistake again.
I'm not leaving him! I can't do that again!
With the area in disaster with rising melting hot gold from Hugo, Kipo has no other choice than to use the Jaguar to save everyone in the area. Unfortunately, she doesn't have her anchor anymore, because it ended up getting lost in the hot gold. She turns into a Jaguar and tries her best to keep it under control. Along with her mom as the Mega Monkey, the day is saved, but Kipo is still a Jaguar. Her friends and family don't give up on her though. They stand together to get her back, and it actually works. Her friends were able to bring her back through their unbreakable bond they all have. And they venture forth, knowing Emilia is still out there and wants to get rid of all the mutants. In the meantime, Emilia takes and influences the freed humans to grow her resistance, much to the dismay of some. And Emilia is gonna take over one more strike to take back the surface and get rid of the mutants for good. And this is where Season 2 ends. Overall, a really great step up from the first season. The stakes are higher than ever, the former main villain has been defeated, while simultaneously fighting a new one, but also making more friends along the way. On top of that, I feel our heroes have grown in many ways, especially Kipo, in terms of controlling her mutated powers and figuring out who she is. It feels like it's been an incredible journey for the group, and there's still one more season to go. Season 3 starts off with the gang trying to figure out how to stop Emilia from executing her plan of turning the mutants back into their original animal forms. First they have to find her though. Months have gone by and there's been no sign of her, while taking refuge with the Timbercats. Gathering as many allies as they can, even the ones that were part of Hugo's plan, they need everyone together to make this plan a reality. Unfortunately, not everything goes to plan when uniting all the mutant groups together, but they end up pulling through slowly but surely to create an alliance. It turns out that Emilia has been taking mutants one by one to use them as test subjects to finalize the creation of the cure. Kipo and the gang go to save them, and while they do this, they are also on a mission to try to convince the people that Emilia is in the wrong, It doesn't go as planned, as most people are too far gone, and they escape with their friends. Although the mission was partially successful, it was not perfect. While continuing to still grow numbers in their resistance, they are having a tough time because Scarlet is still around. Although he's locked in the cage, people still fear him.
No, not them. We're afraid of him.
Kipo tries and tries to get him to apologize to everyone with no luck at first. But after spending some time outside of his cage, he sorta realizes maybe people can change. He ends up apologizing and they all accept it and join Kipo.
I don't deserve your forgiveness, and I don't expect anything to change after today. But for what it's worth, I am sorry.
While this is all going on, Wolf was visited by an old family member, one of the wolves who betrayed her when she was young. After walking down memory lane, it turns out it was all a trap, but before her old friend could fix anything, it was already too late, and they all get captured. Now Kipo and some others need to figure out a plan to get her friends out. After thinking of many plans with the help of Tad, they end up coming up with a plan as a team and are able to save her friends. However, with Amelia getting away again, and as well the loss of the leader of the Timbercats, Yum Yum, who unfortunately was hit with one of Amelia's cures and was turned into a normal cat. The group returns with Yum Yum and share the sad news. Everyone is worried about what will happen next, but on the bright side, they took one of the cures, and Leo can end up making a vaccine, but he will need his wife's help, Song. With the cure they have, they are able to cure Song of being a Mega Monkey, and for the first time ever, Kipo has her mom back.
Kipo. It's really you.
They get to work on the vaccine immediately, but with Song being a monkey for so long, it's going to take some time to get her memory back. All the while, Amelia's people are closing in and trying to stop them from creating the vaccine. The gang comes up with a plan to hold them off with some Death Ivy, but they need to get the Dubstep Bees to make it because they are the only ones immune to it. So they venture off and make their way to them, but they have to impress the Queen Bee with a dance for their help. They of course oblige and receive the help they need to make the wall, with Amelia's forces fast approaching. Kipo keeps gathering forces and other mutants to go against Amelia's army. Meanwhile, Amelia's army makes it to the Timbercats village, and they figure out how to get past the ivy without touching it. Kipo of course comes up with another plan to change everyone's minds, so it seems to be working out, but not completely. The number of mutants keeps dwindling during the fight for the cure. Kipo feels like she has no choice but to become the Jaguar to fight for her people. Kipo ends up getting shot many times by the cure, but she doesn't change back, due to the fact that the cure was made from Kipo's DNA, so she's immune from it. She ends up driving them off, but the damage has been dealt. Kipo feels guilty as ever and wants to stop Amelia and her forces for good this time, and by any means necessary.
I won't make the same mistake again.
After back and forth of arguing whether to go through with their plan or not, Kipo continues her way to Amelia's boat to end things. Dave tells a story about his kind and humans end up in a long-lasting battle, which lasted so long that they completely lost point of what they were fighting for in the first place. And in the process, that's how Dave and Benson ended up meeting each other. They both ended their people's war together, being the last of their armies. Now Kipo finally arrives at Amelia's boat, and after hearing Dave's story, she's changed her mind, knowing the ending conflict violently is not the answer to all this. So she tries one last time to end things peacefully through talking. So she invites everyone to a prom, but not exactly the prom you're thinking of.
No, prom, like PRAHM. A party reconciling all humans and mutants. But also, yes, there will be dancing.
It's just a way to get the people and the mutants all together at once to show that they are more alike than they all think they are. Everything seems good, but Amelia of course has a last-ditch effort to get her way, and it all ends up turning into a battle between Kipo and Amelia. We also find out that Amelia has suffered a lot from generational trauma and being pushed too hard into one direction to the point of forgetting what was really important to her, and end up losing her brother in the process. The fight continues, and Kipo tries one last time to change Amelia's mind, but her mind can't be changed because it's too far gone, dead set in her ways. She tries to bring Kipo down with her, but Amelia is taken by the fungus mutant they met in the previous episode. And Amelia, as a threat, is finally gone. The world of mutants and humans are now safe, and a bright future is given to the next generation. I gotta say, all in all, it was a really great show. The final season stakes feel as great as ever, with the cure for the mutants and an uncertain future. It shows friendship can extend to so many, some people can really change, but some, no matter the circumstances, cannot. The animation is great in each season, and the story got even better and better throughout the series. If you really haven't seen this series, I don't know why you're watching this video instead of watching it right now. To many, it could be extremely relatable, and it's always nothing but a good time. It's all on Netflix right now, so go ahead and give it a watch.